What's up, YouTube? Dreamkiller coming at you with another video. And welcome to Dreamkiller Reviews, the show where we review the latest movies that came out recently, and I am with Christina.
Hello.
And we just got back from seeing the latest Ghostbusters Afterlife, and there's a lot to say. First of all, the first section is going to be spoiler-free. Then we'll have the warning to get out if you haven't seen the movie, and then we'll go into the spoiler talk. But yeah, lots to talk about. All right, so starting off, we're both gonna say, well, I'm going to say that as a Ghostbusters fan, I would say I'm a casual Ghostbusters fan. I love the first movie. I think the second movie is okay. The 2016 movie happened, which we'll discuss in comparison to this movie. And yeah, and how are you as far as Ghostbusters? What's your experience?
I understand. Well, first off, I've never seen any of the movies until now. I understand all the pop culture references, though.
Right.
I'm aware of who was in it. I know. I get the jokes. I get them better now because
you know the actors.
I know the actors. I know the little marshmallow fuckers.
Well, you know about Big Marshmallow.
I know there was a marshmallow.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
And I know he was big.
And
I just assumed he had like mini minions of himself. That's why I just thought it was normal.
Well, we'll get into how that factors in because that's a little weird one. But that's for spoilers. We'll get to that. But yeah, you're talking to casuals who mildly like Ghostbusters. I myself am more of the increased fan. She's just getting into it. She understands the pop culture-ness of Ghostbusters, but has very small knowledge of it, where have a lot of knowledge, but I'm just a casual fan. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the non-spoiler stuff. Overall, how do we think the acting was?
Acting was pretty good. The kids did pretty good. Paul Rudd was hilarious.
Paul Rudd's the best part of this movie.
He was not over the top. He was not trying to be flashy. He was not trying to take the limelight.
He's just being Paul Rudd.
He was a good side character, a proper side character.
What I noticed too with Paul Rudd is, he has that same demeanor that he had in Ant-Man. That because it's kind of like how Deadpool or Ryan Reynolds is like. Ryan Reynolds doesn't know how to turn off his Deadpool acting.
I just assumed him being himself.
It is. But I feel that's the same thing with Paul Rudd. It's the same way. It's his same acting as he did in Ant-Man. Which I love him in Ant-Man. He's the best part of Ant-Man as the main character. And here, Paul Rudd's very likable. And the kids,
I think they did pretty good. They acted
the kids at first I did not like, because you got the smart awkward kid, and then you got the regular awkward kid, which we've seen in a ton of films.
No, but here's the thing. I understand that they follow a certain character in these kinds of movies.
There's tropes.
But it was like, I like how they had more of a role in this movie instead of being that character. Like, I love how the main character was the nerdy, awkward little girl. I love how her brother was also just as awkward. He, was trying.
You kind of
to
felt bad for him a little bit.
A little bit, but at the same time, not so much, because he was growing into it. He was getting his own. He was having fun, letting loose, still himself.
Yeah.
For most of the part.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that a lot. And I thought about that while I was watching. I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad it's not some the average chick you would see in how old was she? 12?
I think she was 12. Yeah.
Like middle schoolish, I think.
And by the way, we're not going to say these characters by names because I honestly don't remember their names at all. I don't even think they say their names out loud throughout the movie.
Of course they do.
I hear the male kid, whose actor's name I don't know. Sorry.
First of all, the girl's name is. Can I say it?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Phoebe.
Yeah. Okay, Phoebe. Yeah, but
main
I
character's name is
I
Phoebe?
keep forgetting sometimes.
I
Cause
forgot because their names were forgettable.
yeah, their names were
Except for
forgettable.
Phoebe. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I don't even remember what the male kid's name was.
I forgot the brother's
Travis,
name.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I sit there, I'm like, I'm so happy that this girl is not an average, little kid, blonde haired, bimbo, whatever, or like her life is miserable, and it's like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
different. But no, it's like a kid you don't expect to see as the main lead in these kinds of movies.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
and
I
what we're getting
appreciated
into too is that yeah, they start off one dimensional, but then they still start to build their character towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, characters are average at best. I didn't like the mom though too much in the beginning.
The mom you sort of feel for a little bit, but yeah, she does have that bitterness in her, which she kind of shows unfortunately in front of her kids, and her kids pick up on it, and they also same reaction.
Yeah.
But honestly, I also liked it because it felt natural. It felt real. It felt like this is a family that fucks with each other. Our sarcasm is fuck. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt real.
Now let's get into the visuals. How do you think the special effects were?
I thought it was pretty good.
Like I like
especially the monsters, the main two monsters.
They actually use practical effects and we're getting the spoilers about who we're talking about when they use with the practical effects.
We barely even gave the non-spoiler half much of a chance. We just want to spoil everything.
I know we'll get there, but yeah, they mixed practical effects with the CGI, and the CGI actually looks like they actually stepped.
It looked pretty good.
I was expecting cheapness, but especially since after seeing the last Ghostbusters, how the CGI looks so half-assed. And she doesn't know because she didn't see it, but I remember. But yeah, I'm actually happy they put the time in for the special effects. And I think what I think too is why this movie is above average is I feel like it's because of the fact that it's Harold Rittman's son directing this. So for those that know, Harold Rittman was the original writer, director of the two Ghostbusters movies. It was his baby. He is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. And so his son is taken over this role as director and writer for this. And you can tell he has a lot of love and put in for his father's work. He really does. Do you agree?
Yeah, and well... And again, I don't know any of this shit until you tell me.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's surprising.
Because here's the thing.
He did a pretty good job.
Here's the thing that is like what makes the movie more competent than the last Ghostbusters movie is that it wasn't because this movie, I don't know if it's trying to be a reboot or a sequel. Feel like it's trying to be both, but at the same time, it acknowledges the older movies. It acknowledges the nostalgia that we all feel, but also it's showing new stuff for a newer audience that's never seen Ghostbusters.
Which honestly, for as said person who's never seen Ghostbusters, it was a good peak of what it was like back then.
Yes.
And again, I understood most of the references, so I'm like, oh yeah, when I saw the car, when I saw the backpack,
yeah.
I saw the
and this is not spoiler, and this was all in the trailer. We saw the proton packs and the car and all the gizmos that were all shown in the trailer.
I totally was spoiling just now. I didn't think it was.
No. This was all the stuff with the showing off the old Ghostbusters stuff was in the trailer, so this is not exactly spoiling anything.
But not the Twinkie.
Yeah, I don't even think the Twinkie was that. I mean, everyone gets.
It was funny.
I never got the Twinkie reference because it's again casual Ghostbusters fan, so I don't get the reference. Maybe someone in the comment section will.
Almost everyone knows the Twinkie. Zombieland knew the Twinkie.
Yeah, fair enough. So overall, this movie is above average, and overall, let's get into rating the movies, so that way we can get into spoilers. In my opinion, this movie is good. It's more good than I thought it was going to be because I was expecting to fully go in hating this movie because it was not advertised that well. And it's just coming off the heels of that Ghostbusters movie that came out in 2016. I have very low hopes for how Sony was going to treat this franchise, because after the 2016 film, I wanted them to no longer touch Ghostbusters, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But thankfully, because Harold Ramit's son, was involved, it wasn't the shitfest I expected. It's above average. It has its problems. The character development, while it is there, I feel like the dialogue can get cringy, can get stilted sometimes. And there came the point where this movie's 2 hours and 4 minutes. I was about to say 2.5, but that's no.
I thought it was gonna be an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was expecting an hour 30, because I feel like that's all this movie could give. But no, this was a 2 hour and 4 minute film, and it felt like that because it started to drag midway, but it kind of made up towards its third act climax.
I remember fucking sitting there multiple times, and I'm like, hey, come on. And it was dragging so badly.
It had its moments of dragging. Even I felt that.
At the same time, it's weird because at the same time, I felt like every moment in that movie did matter.
It did.
Every moment was key. It was crucial. It had a purpose.
It
had
did.
a point. It just dragged on so much.
Yeah, there's certain moments that even felt like, can we move on? And I feel like, even though she disagrees with me, I felt like a good chunk of this movie's time could have been taken off. She disagrees with me.
Yeah, because like I said, every moment counted, so it'd be hard for me to kind of choose which scene to cut off exactly, or how much scene to cut off. So it's kind of like it was a double-edged sword. I understand why they had to show so much of this good information, but if they couldn't do it, what would you have cut off? Be honest with yourself. What would you have cut off if you given the chance?
Well, that gets into kind of spoiler territory. Overall, visuals are nice, dialogue cringy at some points and stilted. Acting's good for the most part, even with the kids towards the end. So my final rating is 4 out of 5, because I think this is a above average film. I was expecting it just to be either average or below average. I was expecting to hate this. I was expecting it to spin the face of Ghostbusters franchise, but thankfully it didn't. So what would you rate it?
Same, I agree. It's a 4 out of 5 for
4
me.
out of 5? Okay.
I agree with basically what you said just now. It did not make it did a few cringy things here and there as far as trying to cater to what happened in the old movies, but at the same time, it wasn't in bad taste. It was okay sometimes, and other times it was hilarious. Sometimes they did a great job, especially the ending. And as someone who has not seen it, it was a good intro. To me, it was a good intro.
Yeah.
It really was. And would I see the past movies? No.
Fair enough.
Just no.
The first one's still worth watching to this day. Second one, give or take.
Honestly, and I thought this too while watching. I'm like, okay, I'm not just bored. I'm fucking just not interested. Period. Some of these, the story, I'm not saying I don't like movies about ghosts. I love ghost movies sometimes.
Yeah, you like your horror movies every once in a while. And this did actually have some pretty good jump scares too at times.
It did actually. It scared me it gave me some scares too, and I rarely get scared from scary movies. I'm not saying it's a scary movie, but overall, it did not get me into the Ghostbusters fandom, but it did. It was a great movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I won't say great.
Just as long as you enjoyed the experience.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I did.
Okay, so 4 for me, 4 for you?
Enjoyed it.
Okay, so that's in the books. 4 out of 5. We honestly recommend seeing it. We're very shocked to be able to say go see it because we weren't expecting much out of this film. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. Go see it. And, we're about to go into spoilers, so if you don't want to stick around, we thank you for watching. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Give us your comments about the movie, and we'll see y'all in the next review. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
You've been given your warning. So, shall we dive into the entire plot of this movie?
We shall.
So it starts out, Harold Ramit's character is basically basically saving this town from an unknown force, and that's the way it does. Starts off the movie stopping this unknown force, and that's what ends up killing him. And then
Which, can we dissect this real quick? The beginning part.
what?
That was some gruesome shit.
I mean, fucking
I did not expect
Ghostbusters
them to
is
fucking...
Ghostbusters is known to like raise the boundary as far as its horror without going into gross gore type horror. So
No, but still though, I expected like... I don't know, actually, no, I don't know what to
yeah,
expect.
because really,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
if you go in if you looked up the old the first Ghostbusters and see all of the scares that it had, it gets terrifying sometimes, and I'm happy that this film retains that terror that the first film did.
Yeah.
So he's fighting this unknown force, and then we get we get his adult daughter who feels like that she's been abandoned by him, and he has these grandkids. They're down on their luck. They get evicted from their home. They find out about their grandfather / father's death. They just want to go in to sell the house and farm that he had, but they find out it has no financial value, so they're trying to dig and dig. The grandkids find out who he is, and then we find out the big plot about this, and the big plot that almost made me want to hate this film, but eventually, I found out they're doing it justice.
It worked out in its favor.
They're rehashing stuff from the first movie. So in the first movie, you had Gozer and the gatekeepers and all that plot. If you've seen Ghostbusters, you know what I'm talking about. For those that don't know, there's this ghost entity, this goddess, whatever, called Gozer, that's all powerful, wants to rule the world. In the first movie, they defeat Gozer, and in this movie, they rehash that. But they expand upon it, which I'm thankful, because when they give the hints of Gozer, I'm like, oh my god, they're rehashing stuff from the first movie. I'm like, this is just pandering up the wazoo. But I'm happy that they expand upon it. So basically, what it is that Gozer comes out once every like 10 or so years or whatever, because it's like they show part of the movie shows the timeline at which he appears. The timelines being in 1984, where the first film took place in New York, and he's coming back in this timeline, and basically Harold's character was basically trying to end Gozer's existence once and for all, and that's basically the plot, is just to save the world from Gozer once again. And like I said, I like how they expand upon it. You don't know much about Gozer.
I don't. I know little to nothing about these characters. I know their names and everything. I know they're like the OG Ghostbusters. I know their characters' names and all that, but I don't know who they are as far as like characters. I don't know their personalities. I don't know their past. None of that.
Yeah. And so you were asking me what I would cut out from the movie.
Yes.
Like I said, a lot of the awkward dialogue, especially towards the mother and Paul Rudd's character, because they were trying to establish a romantic connection, and I feel like you could have.
They were gonna.
Especially when you find out that they turn into the gatekeepers, much like in the first film, where the two characters from the original films got turned into gatekeepers. They rehashed that. They did the gatekeepers a lot better, I felt, than in the first movie. But the first movie's a classic, and I want to
say I loved the way the gatekeepers were made.
That's the thing we were talking about, the practical effects. They actually kept the practical effects, because they used the practical effects mixed in with a little bit of CGI in the original, and they kept that intact. And I'm happy that they kept the practical effects for the gatekeepers. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like the romantic stuff with Paul Rudd's character and the mom, I felt like you could cut that out and would not have changed a thing.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, if y'all want to like chime in what you think, if you saw the movie, if you want to chime in on what you think could have been cut out of the movie, please, by all means. But yeah, and we get a surprise in the third act. So here's the thing. I knew that two out of the three original Ghostbusters cast members were going to come back.
I thought it was going to be one. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was
did
white.
think it was. Yeah, I did think it was gonna be the actor who played Ray, which I believe in the text. Future me will edit who the actor's name is, but it's not coming out of my head. But yeah, Ray comes back. Ernie Hudson's character comes back, and surprisingly, Bill Murray comes back. I did not think he was gonna fucking come back after that disaster of a cameo he had in the last film, because I really thought he did not want to come back after that.
I think he had more hope in this movie.
I think, yeah, because you can tell he had a way more better experience, and it was just nice to see those three. And they do a CGI rendition of Harold Rittman's character towards the end, too. He doesn't speak
I
because,
thought that was just them making his ghostly aura more shiny.
No, it was a complete CGI double like they do with, like in Rogue One
Yeah,
with when they de-aged Leia or brought back Admiral Tark, and they did all these CGI renditions of actors who had passed away, but they want to use those characters again, so they use CGI model. Well, it's like what they do is they take a actor and just model the face. It's like a deep fake.
I know.
And that's, well, and while they couldn't get I don't think they use a body double, they just fully use CGI because he's a ghost. It makes sense. And he doesn't talk because the actor's dead. And I don't think they could have gotten a deep fake of actor to, do the voice.
Probably not.
But it was nice. It was nice to see them all, especially, again, Bill Murray. But Bill Murray is such a treasure.
It was cute. It was beautiful to see. Even for me, I couldn't. My mouth was like the entire time when I saw him. Like, oh shit, it's the original guys. Oh shit.
Yeah, the nostalgia is definitely there towards the third act.
Yeah, and again, as someone who never watched it, I still felt it. I'm like, fuck. All
Yeah.
right.
And we get like a little hint
They
towards
all
the
fucking age like crazy, but
they definitely especially
Bill?
yeah, especially Bill Murray, man.
Motherfucker's already almost bald.
He
might
aged
as well
he
cut
aged
his
like
hair
a
off.
he aged like a prune.
He might as well shave his head off. He's already bald at this point.
Yeah. And then we also get like a snippet towards the end where it's like maybe the kids are gonna take up the mantle of Ghostbusters now, because we see them like driving the cruiser in New York again, and then it just cuts to the Ghostbusters theme, which is always nice to hear the Ghostbusters theme. But yeah, that's the big spoilers, honestly. That's the big plot of it, was just, rehashing Gozer, and it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But again, like in our spoiler-free portion, we still go, even with the fact that they added the original cast back in here, it's still going to be a 4 out of 5 from both of us, because it's even with the nostalgia factor, it doesn't stop the fact that this film kind of has its problems here and there. It drags.
Very badly dragged.
But overall, we had a fun experience.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But yeah, that's our entire review. We hope you all enjoyed it. We all hope you leave a comment. If you saw the film, tell us what you thought. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us to go fuck ourselves. We don't care. I look forward to the comments what y'all got to say. But that's our review, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Go see it. We loved it. We thought it was a pretty decent film. It was way better than we thought it was going to be. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. All the YouTube shenanigans. Yeah, thank you all for watching so much. I'm Dreamkiller.
I'm Christina.
Nerds keep on rocking.